You may know Fresh Patch from Shark Tank, Oprah, or The Today Show. This is the Fresh Patch Podcast, where good pets get it. Sit back, put your paws up, and enjoy the show. Welcome, everybody, to the Fresh Patch Podcast. I'm your host, Drew, with my amazing co-host, Mr. Gabe, to my right for all the viewers and the listeners. You will hear him in a second, but we have a really cool guest on today, something a little different for the Fresh Patch Podcast. Mr. William with NutriFusion. Great to have you on.
Thank you. Nice to be here. Appreciate it.
Yeah, of course. And, we're just going to run through some questions like we usually do on the Fresh Patch podcast. So, answer as best you can, William, and we'll go from there. But before we get started, just want to let all the listeners and viewers know, hit that subscribe button if you're watching on YouTube, listening on Apple Podcasts, Spotify Podcasts, wherever you listen to your podcast. Hit that subscribe button, give us a like, drop a comment, follow at Fresh Patch on all socials. Check out freshpatch.com. And Willem, if you don't mind shouting out NutriFusion where they can kind of get some more information, I'll give you the floor.
Sure. Um, First of all, we are an ingredient for the pet food industry, and our website is NutriFusion.com, NutriFusion.com.
There we
And
go.
it's very information intense if people are looking to do some research.
Awesome. Sorry, we had a little distraction over here with Oakley. He's ripping it.
He's
He's trying to scuff up our carpet, trying to go to find a good space for him to
trying to
lay.
get comfy. He's nesting.
He's nesting. Cool. So,
Interesting.
Gabe, I'll pass it off to you. Get us started with the
Yeah,
questions. Let's get into this thing.
absolutely. So, first of all, tell us just a little bit more about yourself, and then also a little bit about NutriFusion as well.
Okay. Um, I've been involved in product distribution, product development for many years. And in 2008, we started NutriFusion. It was originally started with the focus on the human side with uh, food a food ingredient that would go into food manufacturing's products. And subsequently, as we got moving, we extended it to beverage, pet food, and then nutraceuticals or supplements after that. So, and that's mainly because the product's very diversified and has applications in all those categories.
Absolutely. Yeah. No, that's really interesting, and you guys have been around for quite a while,
Yeah,
so that's
almost 20
amazing. Yeah,
years, it sounds like. That's cool.
that's awesome.
Yeah,
Congrats.
yeah. Thank you.
hmm Sweet. Well,
Absolutely.
that's cool that you guys, obviously, this is why you're on the podcast today, stepping into the pet space with NutriFusion and stuff. So, really cool. We're excited to learn more about that endeavor that you guys have gone into and everything. So, next question is, what was the process behind starting NutriFusion and what was the inspiration?
The inspiration was trying to come up with ways to produce better for you products than what we're currently and are still currently manufactured. Pardon me. So we started with on the human side, and it, the first couple of years were pretty dry years as the product was way ahead of its time in terms of the what it was capable of doing, and so you had your naysayers and doubters, and you go to people like food processors and say, here's what we can do. And they'd said, sounds really good, but we don't have anybody asking for it. So then we went to the retailers and did the same with them. And eventually, after about a little over 2 years, we started to get traction on the company. And at that point, we literally took off.
Yeah, that's amazing. I think you kind of started at the right time because now health and supplements and that whole thing is like really exploding, which is awesome for you guys. And the fact that you know have been established for a while, I'm sure is you were one of those early people in the game, which is
Yeah.
awesome. Uh,
COVID actually helped a lot too.
Hmm.
People had more time to research, and as they did more research, food manufacturers, pet food companies, they all really got quite interested in it. And so that was an accelerant for us, whereas for many companies it was a big detriment.
Yeah, no, we're in the same boat as you guys. I
yeah,
mean, we had a big accelerant as well during COVID. I mean, you can imagine everyone has to stay home. What are you going to do with your dogs, you know? So here's Fresh Patch to the rescue,
oh, yeah,
providing
Yeah,
that real grass for everybody. So yeah, that's good to know too, because
totally.
yeah, we're in the same boat. And like you said, a lot of people did fall off during COVID, sadly.
Yeah.
So
And there was
uh,
a big boom in people like getting pets and that
yeah.
sort of thing too.
Definitely, definitely. And the big reading portion, like you just said. And what else are you going to do besides read and learn about some products and everything? So very
correct.
cool.
Yeah, yeah.
Totally. So, what advice would you give to aspiring entrepreneurs who maybe like have a similar idea but like don't really know where to start, like that sort of stuff?
Oy, th- first of all, I like the idea of following your dreams.
Hmm.
The biggest caveat in what we learned from our business is um, cash flow is king. You know,
Hmm.
nothing matters more than you don't have uh, uh, enough cash, you're in trouble. You've got too much inventory and no cash, you're in real trouble. So we worked very hard to um, manage our cash very carefully. In 2008, that's when GM and Chrysler were in bankruptcy. The mortgage industry had fallen off a cliff.
Hmm.
Oh yeah.
No bank was going to lend us money, so we had to self-fund, which we worked very hard to do, and it worked. But there was typical some dry months there where we're kind of go out and walk with my wife and how's the bank account. So
Oh
uh,
yeah.
and, and then all of a sudden it took off, and we followed our business model that we established then. Even now, after so many years, we have no bank debt, we have no long-term debt, we have no short-term debt. All the debt we have is our accounts payable, which we normally pay in a week to 10 days.
That's awesome.
So yeah, so we're really beholden to no one, and I don't worry about if I'm going to sleep any night because I know there's money there to cover it.
Yeah,
Very
no,
good.
that's incredible. And I love you saying like follow your dreams. I think that's a really important process or part of the process as well is just having a passion
Mhm.
behind it. And then of course, really important to pay attention to those financials,
Yeah,
especially during the time that you guys came about. So, yeah, that's awesome. That's great advice.
Mhm.
yeah.
Yeah, awesome. So going back to, NutriFusion itself, and you kind of answered this at the beginning, but did NutriFusion always include options for pets? And if not, how did that start?
Short answer is no, but it evolved over a number of years.
Hmm.
When we first started, we our focus was really on food, and then it kind of branched out from there. We were always part of our business model was to be opportunity focused. So
Hmm.
the expression we use is we look for the low hanging fruits.
Hmm.
You know, you're looking for what's going to be easy and you can turn reasonably quickly. And we started getting some interest in the pet food market. And then as we looked at it, we realized that this is another great opportunity for our product to shine and at the same time to really make a difference on the in the pet industry. Great sidebar story for you if you're interested.
Definitely.
When we started on the human side, it was always about the market share, the sales market share, and we were to all intents and purpose, but not 100%, the impetus that gave them an opportunity to differentiate themselves from other companies and try to gain market share and sell more product, which I get and I had no problem with. Where it is completely different is in the pet food industry. The pet food industry was really all about the health and welfare of the pet.
Hmm.
And that was really refreshing because nobody in the human side was saying it's all about the health and welfare of the kids. It was really the health and welfare and market share for the company. So, very, very different mindset. And as we started talking to food companies, we had many companies come back to us and said, "What you've got now is a game changer,"
Hmm.
and we've been pursuing that ever since. So um, it's a good foil between the two businesses.
Absolutely.
Hmm.
Yeah, I just feel like as I've gotten older, I've noticed it for sure, but like it seems like people care more and more about the welfare of their pets and making sure that they're being, you know, uh treated properly and they're getting the best sort of uh food and everything. And we know we've actually done podcasts with other food brands, so we know that there's a lot of like controversy about the ingredients of pet food and all that sort of stuff. But I am just curious, little side question here. Are you an animal lover yourself?
Oh yeah, yeah. I've had no dogs right now, but I've had dogs like pretty well my whole life. And after I got married, we quite often would have two dogs, and it, everybody's animal lovers. How can you not be?
Yeah, that's why it's great working in the pet industry. Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, we're big dog lovers here as well as other animals as well.
Yep. Yeah, no, you're a new bunny dad,
I
so
am a new, but yeah, I just adopted a bunny. So that's brand new thing for me, but it's been really really cool learning about bunnies and how great of pets they are. So um that's a new journey that I've been on. Here's a kind of a follow-up question to Drew's question that he asked. So tell us a bit more about NutriFusion as it works for pets and how it can be implemented into their daily routine and you know that sort of thing.
Okay. Good question. Let me start by saying we are an ingredient. Um,
Mhm.
we do not have our own product lines that you take to market, but we would sell our product to uh, uh, food manufacturers that would then add our ingredient in. So that differentiates us some because our focus is on that ingredient aspect of the market and not on the consumer side. So we're strictly B2B. Um, so let me explain our product a little bit, if I can, and this will help clarify. We have a unique process that we take fresh fruits and vegetables. Principally, we use the odd other botanical, uh, but most of what we do is with fruits and vegetables. We have a process where we uh, stabilize, dehydrate, and concentrate our ingredient down so that a very, very small amount of our ingredient will can be used in a wide range of pet food applications. And I'm going to use to get going, I'm going to use kibble as the kind of as the benchmark at this point, and then we can
Mhm.
talk about others later.
Sure.
But we would put it, our ingredient, because of the concentration, it would be about a tenth to 0.2% of the total formulation. What we are talking about is taking fresh fruits and vegetables. So it could be spinach, broccoli, carrots, um, strawberries, raspberries, blueberries. It could be, quite a range depending upon what nutrient we are interested in focusing on with that from a particular application. Um, Once we obtain the formula that we want, and we know the source, and the source will be based upon cost, um, and nutritional output. So we don't compromise on any of our nutritional output. And when we ship a finished product that would say be going into the pet industry, it would be based upon AFCO standards. It would also be based upon a particular source for a particular application. So, for example, most dogs can eat most of um, the source, which is the fruits and vegetables, for a wide range of applications. If you take something like cats, you have to be a little more careful. There's things that they will not do them well at all. So, those are the kinds of things where you're going to shift and modify. Most of our focus, in fact, almost all of our focus is on the dog category. Um, so once we get the formula down, we've got the specifications, which is uh, um, typically, as I said, fruit and vegetables. We then look at what nutrition we need. So if we want to provide um, vitamin A, vitamin C, vitamin D, E, the K's and B's and that kind of thing, we formulate that based upon the needs of the particular product. So we focus on the what's best for the for the pets, and then make it available to food processors and contract packers within the food category or the pet food.
Hmm.
Wow.
Gotcha. Okay, cool. So pretty much you're making the formula, giving it B2B with the, let's just say the kibble brand, and they're making the kibble with your formula pretty much, or it's an additive on top of the
Um,
kibble.
it it's mixed in with the formula. So
Gotcha.
when
Okay.
when the when the food the pet food processor develops or has a customer that wants a particular one developed, once it's developed, that we would then provide them with finished product, which would put and this is a very important phrase, we put the nutrition back in that modern day processing is destroying in the pet food industry.
Gotcha. Okay, that's a great way of putting it.
Yes.
That makes a lot of sense. Cool. I just wanted to clear the air there and,
Yeah.
just really understand the process and everything.
Absolutely. I was just gonna say real quick, like I love that a big focus of the industry is just like on pet welfare.
Hmm.
That's super cool and not something that you see every day in
Yeah.
a lot of companies. So
Yeah, big dog food, big kibble, and stuff. So cool. All right. Well, that leads us kind of to our next question. What sort of benefits will pets, or I guess mainly dogs, and their owners see after using a NutriFusion product?
Okay. I'm going to hit you with different new information, and I apologize up front. But let's talk about two types of vitamins: plant-based vitamins such
Hmm.
as fruits and vegetables, and synthetic vitamins.
Hmm.
Up until us, the choice on synthetic vitamins was really the only game in town. Um, our product is based upon um, what Mother Nature's produced.
Hmm.
So synthetic vitamins are first of all, they're man-made, they're manufactured, they're not plant-based, they don't have the same properties, they don't have the same um, chemical structure as plant-based nutrition has. So where we became, and I said earlier on that we became perceived as a game changer, is because of the fact that we can actually take um, nutrition from plants and put them into product that are two new words, bioavailable and bioabsorbable.
Hmm.
So bioavailable means like you'll have synthetic companies will say, you're going to get vitamin A, C, D, whatever, but it's synthetic. So the bioabsorption or the the ability for the body of the animal to absorb it is way, 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 way better with plant-based nutrition.
Gotcha. Yeah, that makes total sense,
Yeah,
So, um,
straight from the source.
straight from the source. Yeah. So for all the listeners, no, obviously, we don't want to put synthetics into our loved ones, which is our pets. So, no, you guys are doing a great thing there, and pass it back to you. I
Absolutely.
know next question's for you. So,
Yeah, absolutely. So I mentioned briefly earlier, about how the supplement industry and in general, but also like for pets has been like really, really exploding, over the past few years. So what do you think people should look for when considering different options for their animals?
Um, 4 words: avoid ultra-processed pet food.
there you
That may have
go.
been 5.
Uh, ultra processed is with the high, maybe
Yeah,
that's a one high for,
exactly.
that's perfect though. That's great.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Ultra-processed foods are produced with all sorts of chemicals. They're produced like with synthetic vitamins, if they're using synthetic vitamins at all. And they really have, typically they've got, and I'm referring principally to the human side, but to a lesser degree the pet, they have um, sugar in it, they have fats, they have salts, they have many things that are harmful to both humans and pets.
Hmm.
And that's kind of a takeaway to really be careful of is is avoiding ultra processed pet foods. And kibble's a good example of it. And it's one that you have to be careful with what you buy.
Hmm. Definitely. And, that does go for the humans as well. I know
Oh yeah.
there's been a lot of talk recently too, just about processed foods, oils, seed oils going into things. So kind of the same approach, obviously you don't want to be pumping your pet with sugar
Yeah,
and
totally. And
processed stuff,
I know that the standards for pet food like aren't as intensive for human food, so it's definitely something to pay attention to.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. Well, thank you for that insight. I appreciate that. Um, Leads us to our next question. People take the health of their pets very seriously, as they should, and wanted to know, have you heard any success stories or positive feedback from pet owners that have used NutriFusion products?
The answer is yes, and we've also been involved indirectly because we supplied the food with some companies that have run tests.
Hmm.
So, giving you an example, there's one study done where they provided to a kennel a meal program which included our ingredient. And what they found was it added, the coats became much shinier and better and healthier. The pets did not gain any weight.
Hmm.
It was kind of neutral on that aspect. And I'm gonna, I hate to do it, but I've got another series of words to give you.
Lay it on us. Do it. We love
I'm
it.
ready.
Yeah. um, a couple of quickly. One is inflammation, and the other is oxidative stress.
Mm,
Um, Inflammation and oxidative stress are somewhat analogous with each other, but essentially what happens is if you eat, for example, too much ultra processed food, it causes all sorts of inflammation of the body, human, pet, um, horses, it doesn't matter.
mhm,
And inflammation then is a precursor to a wide range of chronic diseases, which could include diabetes, it could include heart disease, the list goes on and on from there, Crohn's disease, and so on. And that applies whether it's on the human or the pet side. So, um, any readers that's listening to this or audience, I would recommend that they um, do a Google search on oxidative stress, and then there's an analogous word to that called free radicals. And what happens is when you eat poorly, like going and eating too much McDonald's, for example.
Hmm.
It increases the amount of oxidative stress or inflammation in your body. And then if you take the inflammation and over a period of time, and I'm talking many years, it will actually cause the chronic diseases.
Wow.
Interesting.
But a very interesting category, very interesting because it's not well known, it's not well understood by the public,
Hmm.
but a very important concept for both their pets and for them personally.
Hmm. That's great. That's very informative, interesting. I mean, we know the bigger picture when it comes to health and stuff, but breaking it down like that is always good. And you said oxidative stress, right? That was the term.
Correct. Yeah.
That's a good one. I'll be searching that
Yeah,
myself after
for
this.
for me,
Yeah,
my own health.
yeah, exactly. My own health as well,
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Yeah.
um,
So just think of what your mom said, which is eat your vegetables,
Mhm.
eat your get the nutrition you need to do this and
mhm,
that. Um, I back then I would doubt anybody could really explain to you why eating your vegetables was so important, but it had been drummed into you for so long that you probably accepted it without much questioning.
yep.
The oxidative stress will walk you through why it's such an important part. And the other term I used was free radicals. Essentially, what happens with oxidative stress on the cellular level of the dog's body, your body, you you create a free radical, which is a missing electron in cells. Eventually, over time, they accumulate with each other, and you have to be able to neutralize it.
Hmm.
There's where your mom's recommendation is eat your fruits and vegetables becomes so important,
Yep.
because what that is doing, it is providing the missing electron or the missing piece that you need to make the cell whole again. And that's the magic of using fresh fruits and vegetables. So that's kind of the behind the scenes science explanation. And I gave you a very quick summary of it. I could go on this for an hour, which I won't do, but it's important.
Yeah, no, that's a very good approach to it. Yeah, thank you for that
Definitely.
breakdown. And yeah, I'm sure you could go on. We could keep talking about this. There's probably
Definitely.
loads of information that you're holding back and stuff, but yeah, I appreciate that. So all the listeners, eat your vegetables like William's saying. Your mom has always told you to eat those veggies. I know
Listen
I
to your
was
mom.
listen to your mom, easy. Yeah, I was definitely one of those kids where a small dessert, but only if I ate my greens. And I'm
Mhm.
not leaving the table, not leaving the dinner table till everything's gone. So that's great.
Yeah, no,
Cool.
that's awesome, especially from like a pet perspective.
Yeah.
They have such short lives compared to us, and
Hmm.
like, you know,
Make it worthwhile.
make it worthwhile. Do
Yeah.
everything you can to like
Hmm.
help them be happy and healthy for as long as possible. So,
Hmm.
yeah, definitely. If I was a pet owner, if I was a human who was concerned
If
about my
I
own
was
health,
a human, I hope you're human.
yes, if I yes.
Woof woof.
That's awesome.
But yeah, look into oxidative stress and educate yourself and
Yeah,
do everything you can to help yourself and your pets.
definitely. Definitely. Cool.
Awesome. So
Back to you.
yeah, to bring it over to Fresh Patch a little bit. I'm not sure how familiar you are with our product, but it is a basically a mat of real grass that's used for different reasons. For dogs, it's mainly used as like an alternative to pee pads or giving them like an indoor potty spot kind of thing. And then for other animals, it's used like for enrichment. Indoor animals who don't get to go outside much,
Hmm.
bring a little piece of the outdoors in for them. So the use of natural products seems to be very important in NutriFusion for obvious reasons, that we just discussed. Um, this is something that's also like really important for us here at Fresh Patch and something that really sets us apart to other companies. So from your perspective, what sort of benefits do you see from using a real grass product like Fresh Patch as opposed to pea pads or something like fake turf?
I'm a naturalist, so that's an easy answer.
You
Yeah, I Oh, I could load you with data, but um, there's a lot of really concerning things going on. One of which is the decline of the um, uh, the nutrients in fruits and vegetables over the last 70 years. Like it's down probably, the decline's probably 60% plus. So if you bought in the mid 1930s a basket of apples, you'd you would be getting an awful lot more nutritional value than you're getting right now
Hmm.
by the rate of about 60% more.
Oof,
That's crazy. I mean,
not good.
yeah, an apple a day keeps a doctor away. I don't know about
Maybe a
nowadays.
few apples.
Yeah, now we need a few
Or
to,
maybe three.
yeah,
Jeez.
3 apples a day. Cool. Well, yeah, I mean that's super interesting too. And then obviously this is a product that could go hand in hand with fresh patch. If your dog is eating a healthy kibble, whatever type of food that is, involved with NutriFusion, and then they got that piece of real grass to relieve themselves on, it's kind of a win-win. So like you said, the natural way of course you're a supporter. But if you have any other, I mean, we'll sit here and listen to some bullet points if you got them on the on the nutrition side of things.
Yeah,
But
absolutely.
yeah, no, thank you for that. But
One thing I should point out,
mhm,
especially for any of your listeners, we do not sell our product to the consumer, and
gotcha.
that is done with great purpose and intent. Um, the typical view by most Americans was, if I got a headache, um, I'm going to take an aspirin,
Hmm.
and it's bad. So if one head aspirin is going to work, two aspirins should be twice as good. It doesn't work like that in the pet industry.
Mm,
If you overdose a pet with too much um, nutrition, you can harm the animal. So we made the conscious decision of not making this available to the consumer. It's only available on the food manufacturing, pet food manufacturing side.
gotcha.
Yeah, that makes
Interesting. Yeah, no, it makes total sense. Yeah,
yeah.
you don't want people to abuse a product
Yeah.
that.
It's a great way to like kind of organically portion it and make sure that they're receiving the exact
Hmm.
correct amount
Yeah.
because people are already like portioning their food for their dog. So when you know what portion they're going to get, it's really easy to make sure that, they're receiving the nutrition
Hmm.
in the right amount.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you have like a list of companies that buy your product and use it like in their food?
Yes, I can give you a few names. Um, we have to be careful there because we've got NDAs in place,
I was gonna
and
say
Of
if you can't
course. Yeah,
disclose
yeah,
all
no
the
worries.
information, no worries. But
yeah,
yeah,
the one company that I would say that they could take a look at and is a company called Sundays for Dogs.
Oh yeah.
love it. Yep, that's a great
Amazing.
one.
That's ours, and I'd leave it at that. One of the things with our NDAs, we have a lot of companies that uh, don't want their competitors to know why they can make the claims and provide the nutrition um, that they're claiming. So by they don't like us talking about them. So
Of
that's why I have
course.
to be careful.
Yeah,
Yeah, totally. I
makes
don't mean
sense.
to overstep, but yeah,
Yeah.
just wanted to give the viewers a chance to, see
Hmm.
if the products that they're using,
Hmm.
have these
Yeah.
sort of values.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. I'll give you another one. It's Guardian Pet Food.
Guardian pet food.
Yeah,
Okay.
Awesome.
and they have a a nice product that would work well as well.
Amazing.
So there you
Huh.
go for our listeners,
Yep.
viewers. Check those two out. Can't say any more, but do your due diligence on your research. I'm sure you will find the best product for your pet and everything. Well, cool. That leads us to our last question, William, and the floor is yours now. Is there anything big to pay attention to coming up for NutriFusion? Any big plans in the works, or are you guys just kind of coasting with the current business plan?
Uh, Business plan's pretty well the same. We're tweaking, adding. We're we're growing. We just hired an additional salesperson. We'll hire another one in probably September. It's full speed ahead. We are a small company,
Hmm.
so we're not like say, Blue Buffalo, for example,
Yeah.
or one of the Nestle lines of pet food. But based upon what we do, uh, we have a huge opportunity, and I describe this as a pimple.
There you go.
We got lots of room to grow and expand in many
Nice.
categories. Yeah.
Yep, I'd
Amazing.
say that would be the same for Fresh Patch as well. We are expanding, obviously. I mean, like Gabe said earlier, we were established around the dogs, but expanding into other pets, really just making sure they can have that piece of real grass, bringing the outdoors into them. So, kind of the same approach. But yeah, that's great to hear. And best of luck to you guys and everything. And hopefully,
Totally. Yeah, no, you guys are doing great stuff.
yeah,
Uh,
hopefully, wish you
yeah.
all the success, of course.
Thank you, and best of luck to you as well. Yeah.
Thank you.
And
Appreciate that.
if you ever want have a brainwave on a new product, keep us in mind.
Oh, don't worry. We will be in contact after this. So I
Very good.
appreciate that. Cool. So
Okay.
that wraps up all our questions. Before we go, just to the viewers, listeners, hit that subscribe button one more time if you haven't already. If you're watching on YouTube, listening on Apple Podcasts, Spotify Podcasts, wherever you listen to your podcasts, check out freshpatch.com. Follow at freshpatch on all socials. Check out NutriFusion.com too if you are a brand. As William mentioned, this is not direct to consumer, so check out their website if you are listening from the brand side. And thank you again, William. This was wonderful, and we learned a lot, and appreciate your time.
Absolutely.
Yeah, my pleasure, and thank you. I enjoyed the time.
Awesome, sounds good. And for everybody listening, we'll see you next time on the Fresh Patch Podcast. Thanks for listening to the Fresh Patch Podcast, where good pets get it. We hope you enjoyed the show. Give us a like or a follow, and shop all real grass supplies at freshpatch.com.